has. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, it should be fairly easy. Just give us a heads up and come whenever you want.
Sounds good. All right, let's jump into game, guys. Again, game number 3 between Xigua and Suppy.
Okay.
Okay. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner as the red Zerg. The evil genius player, it is
Does
Suppy.
anyone else Suppy?
Sorry.
Does anyone else Suppy? Do you?
I don't.
Andre?
I don't.
You don't? You don't Suppy?
I do Suppy. I'm just kidding.
Okay, fine. I was
And
gonna say for a second.
his opponent spawning in the top right-hand position. Showed some pretty good game work last game. Nice movement around the map. It is Invictus Gaming Xigua.
Chihuahua. And he actually took the lead early on both games. So Suppy, you know, Suppy's a really good, strong mechanical player. But it seems like Xigua is continuing to take small leads over and over. And that might, you know, it's like Suppy's playing it pretty safe so far. I think he needs to start being a little bit more aggressive, taking a little bit more risks. I think, I don't know if he's giving Xigua the respect that he deserves.
Yeah, I almost feel like Xigua is just making the better action, or the better decision-making overall. And it's some funky play. I mean, game 1 was really weird, right? Going the Roach Evolution Chamber, but only doing Zergling pressure.
Yeah.
That was really funky to me. And then game number 2, we saw kind of standard Zergling Baneling aggression, but like a delayed lair. Like, a lot of things just didn't make sense to me in that game. It was a delayed lair, Zergling Baneling pressure, which was the same time as regular pressure, delayed extractors, but then he just won with better movement, right?
Yeah, it really shows how well Xigua understands the game and the matchup. You know, just making those snap calls to make a bunch of links instead of roaches when you have a roach runner, it's not easy to do. But this is also what I'm talking about. Like, Xigua is going hedge first pretty much every game, and Suppy continues to go like pool first pretty much every game. So it's those small things that I think Xigua that's giving a small edge to Xigua in the early and mid game.
I guess Suppy in this position is thinking, well, I don't want to rely on just winning with the 10 pool for my last game here, because it is important. He can potentially be knocked out of Challenger League. For those of you that don't know, 4 people in a group. Top 2 will move on to Premier League. The 3rd place will stay in Challenger, and the 4th one will be relegated out of the league.
Yeah. Also, like things like Temple, even though they should give you an edge, they don't always. And if it relies a lot on the unit control, and especially on the unit control of the person defending. So I think you can hold anything with hedge first, to be completely honest. So it might not be a risk that Suppy wants to take, or not something that he wants to do without like rehearsing it.
Gotcha. Makes sense. So far, very standard play though, coming out both these players, metabolic boost on regular times. Actually, there it is, metabolic boost. I mean, gas, you can see it's right around each other.
Oh wow, Xigua almost denying the scout by Suppy with an extra drone that was just walking by. That was really cool. But Suppy will go in and scout it.
Sees nothing out of the ordinary. If anything, just a continued gas mining. But honestly, nothing out of the ordinary. Now Xigua will get his turn at trying to do this. And probably we'll see the same exact thing. Baneling nests can be made on the low ground, so it's kind of nice for him. Xigua will not be able to confirm that there is a Baneling nest there. I don't think any aggression will come out of this, though. I mean, both these players see that they're playing pretty standard. So normally, when you see that, yeah, you could put your next inject into all Zerglings, but normally it's going to get parried very, very easily. And you can see only 4 larvae are going to be committed, 5 larvae are going to be committed now to all Zerglings for Xigua. So he's going to be a little bit more aggressive. You can see the difference in drones now represented 28 to 25. And
yeah, but the gap is going to close pretty quick. Suppy is making a spine crawler, and that represents 3 drones in itself. So even though Xigua made like 6 more links, it should be pretty even. Only Xigua's going to gain the map control, and Suppy, you know, is potentially safer against all-ins. But then again, Suppy scouted that there was no all-in. Xigua is dropping a spine crawler himself though, but it's much later than Suppy's.
Baneling is spotted out over here, and Xigua gonna get completely denied. First Baneling goes down. That basically destroys. Oh god. That destroys anything that he can do here. Second Baneling takes 1 pot shot to that spine crawler. Nicely done so far. Looking at the gases right now, 3rd gas is being taken by Xigua. Even the 4th gas, holy moly. And his lair is so late. I mean, this is the continuous thing we always see. Just the small difference of Suppy not getting banelings as soon as the baneling nest finishes, getting the lair first, and then getting the banelings to defend over Xigua that gets banelings, kind of reacts and sees if he can do more pressure. If not, he throws down that lair. That's why you see.
Yeah, pretty much. And Xigua doesn't seem to mind it too much. I mean, the gas counts are still gonna be pretty much even, regardless. Xigua may be trailing a little bit behind. But he's mined more minerals for sure up until this point, and he might try to go for a faster third again and deny the third of Suppy. Suppy going for a Spire again, and I think we're going to see a Spire out of Xigua one more time.
I do too. Hatchery is going to be thrown down over here at the third base. Still, both these players are in a position where income 45, 46. Normally it's 44 drones and you're good to go. All Zerglings all day long. And just put pressure on your opponent, or your opponent's third base. We'll find out what Suppy does this time. Still no defense over at the ramp, so he's playing it very aggressively here. A lot of banelings being morphed in. Try to deny this third base as best possible. Zerglings are going to be engaging here, but no, gosh.
Wow.
Suppy.
That was scary, man.
Playing with fire. And now Suppy going to trade out 2 banelings. Some okay trades so far, but nothing too great for Suppy.
Yeah, that was pretty good for Xigua. He used a lot less gas in that engagement than Suppy did, so that's pretty much gonna equalize the gas. And Xigua, very, very, very sneaky, might be able to deny this third with just a handful of links.
Yeah, kind of crazy yet again. 2 Zerglings gonna get over here and kind of dissuade him from doing that. Looks like he will get his hatchery up in time though, so we don't have to worry. Double extractors are popping up here. So I love this by Suppy, just making sure that he can maintain. But now Zerg counterattack will be thwarted. I don't think there are any banelings over here for Suppy, but Xigua is just a little bit scared in case there are banelings.
Yeah, Xigua didn't really want to run up the ramp. There's one baneling there that could be lights out for him.
Right.
So yeah, the difference with this game between the other ones, it's like Suppy's applying, or was applying the aggression early on. And Xigua had to sit back a little bit, but it's pretty much a dead even game.
Very nice, picking off a couple of banelings here. Units tab, we'll take a look. 9 mutas out in the field, and there are 10 mutas popping out pretty soon here for Xigua. So, as you said, very, very, very even. Gases are going to be mined basically at the same time, the 5th and 6th gases that is.
Yeah, drone counts are exactly the same as well. Yeah. So, supply difference is like 5. It's pretty much a dead even game, and we'll see if either player tries to transition out. We're likely just going to see both players adding more and more mutas, and eventually perhaps infestors.
This is a situation where both players want to take and seize map control as fast as possible. I mean, that's where it really comes down to. If the mutas are always defending, you can normally get into positions between like the natural and the third base over here, or even the main and the natural. These areas are where a lot of rallies will go across, and you can pick off free units by doing that. And of course, extractors, drones, etc.
Yeah, and this is a really interesting. Oh, one muta almost picked off. Nope. Xigua has to back from this. Okay.
Wow, that's sick. Suppy won't lose anything from there because it obviously regenerates pretty fast.
Yeah, extremely fast. And this is a tricky map to go muta because it's so spread out that it should be pretty interesting to see. Once a player decides to take their 4th base, it's going to be really hard to defend.
I'm really surprised that we see mutas. I mean, I think this is the first time I've seen mutas on this map. I understand that it's still viable on any map. I mean, mutas, that's the whole point of them. But on this map in particular, I just see roaches, and you just max 200, and you see big derp fights. So it's kind of nice to see mutas, but at the same time, a lot of times these muta fights turn into who has more mutas or who has the better upgrades, right?
Yeah, pretty much. The upgrades play a weird role in muta versus muta because they don't really... Oh, got an engagement here.
And it looks like Xigua has more mutas.
Who's winning, yeah.
Oh gosh, and he's going directly on top of all Suppys. Not a good position. Suppy needs to back up from here, but he's lost so much already. This is going to snowball.
He might just GG here.
Yeah.
He's going to back. And I hope he tries to transition into something else. It's pretty hard to identify how many more muta your opponent has. He probably clicked on his upgrade, and maybe Xigua wasn't done yet when he clicked, but it definitely came into play during the battle. So I mean that's the only reason I can see for Suppy taking that engagement.
Yeah, just
upgrades are pretty important in muta versus muta, but they don't actually make a huge difference until there's large numbers. For example, if you're fighting, I think it's... God, I did the math one time with Scarlet, but I forgot. Say like below 20 mutas, you would rather have an extra muta than a +1 carapace.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane. Well, Xigua has a pretty massive advantage here, but with the extra queen, Muta actually not in this engagement, and Zergling's underneath tanking a lot of this damage. Xigua doing everything right. It looks like Suppy will not be able to move on here in the first match. Queen is over here, but oh wow, nice
really nice repositioning of the sport crawlers by Suppy. He kind of forced the mutas back onto another sport crawler, and there was very little airspace where Xigua could just sit and fight those. So Suppy is not out of this yet.
He's not, but I mean, it's up to Xigua to kind of mess up here. Units tab shows 17 to 9 Mutalisks, still an alarming amount of mutas over Suppy. And with map control, I mean, what is it that Suppy has to do here? I feel like, as you said, it is that tech switch, and we haven't seen a motion for that at all. Infestor's not on the way out. There are queens over here, but the muta count is just way too much.
Yeah, Suppy keeps taking really weird engagements. This has to be GG. I don't understand why he's taking these engagements if he's not gonna kind of, you know, bank on these engagements to win him or lose him the game. It seems like he's like, oh, I lost the engagement. Well, yeah, well, we knew you were gonna lose the engagement, so.
There's a counterattack at the third base, though, that can do a lot of damage here. Maybe even take out the third, but of course Xigua is just ravaging the natural here.
No, Suppy! Don't pull back!
Oh gosh. He's trading out a lot of these Zerglings. At least he's getting good trades overall, but still not looking all too good. There it is. GG, ladies and gentlemen. Xigua just able to take the game right there. I mean, in Muta versus Muta, it's so hard to really create an advantage, I feel like. But once you do, it's very easy to just maintain